Greetings, comrades. This is Andre Agudes Desjardins, and I'm here to do some Brothers War Crack-A-Packs. I've been neglecting my Crack-A-Packs lately. It's really such a shame. Alright. I've actually really enjoyed this draft format, even though a lot of the picks I find are like just take the best card in the pack for the first little while, but I've really enjoyed all the gameplay. So let's go. Soldier Token. Fantastic. I actually don't have one of those. Full Heart Swamp. Dramatic Lance. Ooh, this is, right, I should go backwards, right? Yes, this is the Japanese pack, so I need to go bloop. We also have the Millstone. Those, there we go. Excellent. Alright. Lynette Adept, 3/3 for 4. Whenever you draw your second card a turn, +1/+1 counter. I find the draw 2 cards in a turn deck isn't that strong, doesn't come off very often, and when it does, I don't need a Hill Giant to become a 4/4 to become a 5/5 to be my payoff. I'd much rather just have the 4/5 that gets Lifelink and Death Touch, because that's a much better payoff, so no. Conscripted Infantry, it's run in 2 for a Human Soldier, 3/1, and when it dies, create a 1/1 colorless Soldier Artifact Creature token. This is a fine playable in red. It's kind of C, kind of replaceable. It's nice it has 2 bodies, you can trade off. Get a 1/1 sacrifice or whatever afterwards, but not a high pick. Alright, Hoarding Recluse. 1 green, 3 colorless for a 3/2 reach Death Touch. When he dies, put 1 target card from graveyard on the bottom of owner's library. I mean, solid guy, seems playable. I've tried the green-blue Turbo Mill, recycle your cards with the uncommon that you can pay 3 to put a sorcery artifact, I believe. Sorcery artifact from the bottom of your graveyard to the bottom. Not a great strategy, just so you know, because I always love that strategy. But the Spider's fine. You get to maybe put your best card at the bottom again, or maybe not your best card because you might want to get it back. But 2/3 reach Death Touch is fine, playable, but not really looking forward to it. Here comes my cat to be an asshole, aren't you, Franny? Yes, you're such an asshole. Get out of here. This is not being edited. Beat it. Beat it, Miss Adorable. Oh, asshole cat. Alright. Alright, next up we have Race to the Ground. A red 2 colorless. It can't be countered. Destroy an artifact. If it's manifested one or less, draw a card. Sideboard, if they have a big bomb artifact you need to get. Otherwise, nope. 3 mana, destroy an artifact, too much. Most of the good artifacts are 0 or 1 mana, and a lot of the 1 mana ones you want to destroy can just be sacrificed, so you're not drawing that card. But it's a fine sideboard if you need to bring in kill something big. Alright, here's a guy, Killzone Acrobat. 1 black, 2 colorless for a 3/2 human soldier. When he attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, he gains flying until end of turn. This guy's a very strong role player in the red, black, steel, and sack deck because it is free to do the sacrifice. I've drafted that deck a couple times, really enjoyed it. He's a really key player. I wouldn't be happy to first pick him, but he's #1 in contention so far. But it's a good deck, but you wouldn't be happy to first pick him, but he's playable. Alright, Branchwood Prowler. Worst Satyr Wayfinder, which is fine because there's a lot of room in the world for Worst Satyr Wayfinder. Green and colorless for a 1/1, and when he enters, mill 3 cards, so you can put a land card into your hand. If you don't, you get a 2/2. You're really hoping to mill the land card in this format. There's a lot of 1 toughness creatures, so the 1/1 body is actually really good. The 1/1, draw land, you can usually trade with a blocker. Very reasonable first pick. Alright, Aeronaut Cavalry, 1 white, 4 colors for a 3/4 human soldier flyer. When it enters the battlefield, +1/+1 cover another target soldier you control. He's playable in the soldiers deck. 3/4 flyer for 5 is fine. The +1/+1 counter helps, but not super stoked. He's not also a strong soldier. This format, you have to get to the board early. That doesn't mean you need to be aggro, but you need 2 drops, or especially 3 drops, and he's just very replaceable. You'd rather the cheaper soldiers. Alright, Dredging Claws, 2 colorless. For artifact equipment, equip a creature is +1/+0 and has menace, and when a creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you can read that as when you unearth a creature. You can attach Dredging Claws to it. I guess there are some white and black can reanimate creatures, but you really want to get on the haste creature, because equip creature +1/+0 in haste. and it equips for a black and colorless. This is fine if you have a lot of unearthed creatures in your deck, but you'll get one if you want it. Your deck probably doesn't need 2 or 3 of them. I've been happy with one. Get my smut back and swing in for damage. Good. Alright, here's a contender. Gothian Opportunist. 1 green, 2 colorless for 3-2. When he enters the battlefield, make a tap Power Stone token. Can't ask much more than a card. So currently two good green cards are being my pick here. I'm probably going to go with the Opportunist to begin with, because it's a solid body. The Power Stone at 3 mana is still relevant to untap with. Yeah, probably my pick so far. Ooh, Runtime Commons. The Vahaji Dragon Engine is 8 colorless for a 5/5 flyer, and he gets, for 2 mana, he gets +1/+0 until end of turn, or you can prototype him as a 1/3 flyer for 3. I've played it in my red-white aggro decks and my red-black aggro decks and all my red aggro decks, but it's perfectly replaceable. I honestly really like the 3/2 that prototypes for red and 2 colorless and is a 6/4 haste for 7, more than this. But I've also played this and been happy with it. Not really looking to first pick it though. In terms of the ramp, an 8 mana 5/5 flyer, you can probably do better than that in this format. The 8 mana 8/8 trample ward 4 comes to mind. Alright, Giant Cindermaw, 1 red, 2 colorless, that does not look green at all. Trample, 4/3, players can't gain life. Perfectly fine red aggro card. If you wanted to start red over green, I would suggest taking it over the Opportunist or the Branchwood Prowler, but both of them are fine. The can't gain life occasionally comes up, but it's not a big deal maker or breaker, but if you took it, it's fine. Dreams of Steel and Oil, sorcery. 1 black, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature card from it or one in their graveyard. They exile the chosen card. Meh, it's playable. I mean, discard has top deck problems and limited. The fact you can exile an unearthed creature is like a nice get out clause, but I'm not first picking this. If it makes it to your deck, fine. If it doesn't, also fine. Alright, we have our prototype card, or whatever it's called. Millstone! Love me a Millstone. 2 colorless. 2 mana tap. Target player mills 2 cards. This format is not about this card whatsoever. If you have 2 mana to make, play this on turn 2 and they play a 2-drop creature, you are just so far behind. It's hard to put the mana into it in most games. But if you are on a really slow versus, if you're a control deck and you happen to be against another control deck, you can bring this in from the board, but I would never start this main. But there are matchups you could convince me to bring this into the board, but I'm not first picking it. Alright, let's go find our rare. It is Deathbloom Ritualist. 3 a black and a green. 3/5. And tab, add X mana of any color, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. In a Miss-Self mill deck, this can make a lot of mana. It's not really powerful enough to build around itself. There are things to do with all the mana in this format, but I really don't want to start with a 2-color card, even though both colors are fine. I just rather start with one of these 1-color cards and make it into my deck. So, the first 3, I would be happy. I'm not thrilled about any of these cards. I think I would first pick probably the Branchwood Prowler, actually, though maybe it's the Opportunist. They're all good cards. Probably the Prowler, because the Opportunist is really solid. If you want to go to the red aggro, just pick that man. It's good man. You can ignore the players can't gain life bit. I'm probably going to pick the Branchwood Prowler because I'm a sucker for milling cards, and I think the 1/1 body really does line up very well in this format, but I wouldn't fault you if you pick the Opportunist over it. Alright, that's everything for now. Thank you very much, comrades, and have a good day.